What's up everybody, my name's Jackson. Welcome to the channel. Today I'm just going to be doing a quick what's in the bag, but this is also going to serve as the channel intro. This is my first video that I'm putting up. As you can probably see from the guitars and microphones and such, I am a musician. I live here in Southern California. I go to Vanguard University, so 20 years old, still in college, but took up golf during COVID, and now we're trying the golf YouTube thing for a little bit. Just as kind of a side thing, it's fun for me to make content. And also, why not have a little bit more incentive to play golf? So quickly, I'm gonna do a quick what's in the bag just because I feel like it's always fun for me to watch those from other guys. So here we are, let's waste no time. Start with driver. This is the TAYLORMADE Sim 2 Max. And I actually just recently switched some of the weights out on this. Typically, there's more weight in the back so that this driver is more forgiving. What I did was put a lighter weight on the back and a little bit of a heavier weight at the front. So the total weight didn't change at all, but that should knock some of the spin off of this club. Also putting some of this weight heel side allows me to open the face a little bit and still have that straight ball. So this is a 10.5 degree head, 2 clicks towards lower. So it's playing at 9 degrees. This club flies straight and it feels good, and a middle strike just sounds the greatest. That's why I love TAYLORMADE stuff. So probably looking at like 285, 290 off the tee right now. If I hit it, you know, pretty good with a cut, and if I'm lining up to hit a draw and I really get after it, just over that 300 mark. But typically at sea level it's not much more than that. But this is reliable. Honestly, it is a fairway finder, even though it's a driver. If I kind of take some off of it and hit a low one out there, I can trust this club's gonna go pretty far and pretty straight. So I love that driver. TAYLORMADE Sim 2 Max. Oh, I forgot to say, this is an aftermarket shaft. So this is actually an Aldila NV Green 75 X Flex. This is the only shaft that I've sort of fitted myself for, and it works okay. It's the heaviest shaft in my bag. I wish some of these shafts were heavier, as you're about to see, but yeah, this club feels great, and I'll do my best to explain the clubs and the shafts and all that as we go through. So the next club that we have is a Epic Speed 4-wood. It's a Callaway club, 16.5 degree fairway wood, as you can see. I got this club used, so it was a pretty recent addition to the bag, and I've been loving it. It has a really pretty low flight, low spin, low trajectory, but it has that extra 1.5 degrees than a traditional 3-wood would have, so it has some more loft on it. Shaft hazardous smoke green. This is a mid-spin shaft. The flex is 6.0 and the weight is 70 grams. So this ball flight will stay low but still spin. I love this club, going for par 5s and 2 or hitting it off the tee a long way. But still having it stay in the air and be able to play those shapes has been really fun. So I love this club, a 4-wood. I think I'll always play a 4-wood. Off the tee probably goes, you know, just over 360. On a nice tight draw with a little bit of a downhill. So probably 250 is the safe number there. I don't feel like I need something between that and my driver. Next in the bag, what do we got? Cleveland HB Turbo Launcher 5-wood. So this is an 18 degree head, so it's only 1.5 degrees more loft than the 4-wood. However, like I said, some of these shafts are pretty light, so this is a 50 gram regular. I got this club when I was brand new to golf. So because the shaft is so light, my ball flight is super high. The club head releases super early, kicks the ball way up in the air, which is typically not ideal. I rarely hit this club off of the tee. It's kind of a one-trick pony, but it does what it does really well, which is hold a green from about 230, 235 yards away. Really high, really spinny. So once it comes down and lands on the green, I don't have to worry about it rolling off. So yeah, this is a fun club to have, basically just for the approach game. It's probably not the best, efficient use of club selection, but I've had it since I started playing, so it'll be a while until I part with it. The next two clubs kind of switch in and out of the bag depending on the conditions, how I'm hitting the ball. So we'll start with the one that I probably use more often, just because I can, is a 3 hybrid. This is the Halo Launcher 3 hybrid. Does it have a degree marking on here? Only 19 degrees. So yeah, again, the gapping's kind of strange between these, but I don't hit this club quite as hard, but I hit this club out of the rough, and I do hit this club off of the fairway for that 215, 220 number into a green. So this club, because of its nature, does end up getting used a lot, as I hit a lot of bad tee shots, as a lot of us do. So 3 hybrid, can't go wrong. If it's windy or if I'm just feeling like having a bit more fun with it, I'll take the hybrid out and I'll put in this club. This is a driving iron, COBRA, King Utility, 3 iron turned down to 18 degrees. So it's really playing more like a traditional 2 iron. Graphite shaft, catalyst. This is a Project X shaft, and this club's so fun. It's just one of those low bullet, get one in the fairway, but you still have to hit it well on tee shots. It's always fun to have a driving iron, kind of soup up your game, make sure your ball striking's good, and when it is, it pays off. It's got some tungsten weight in here, some weight in the toe, so this club feels great. Really glad that I can put that in the bag every once in a while. You know, on a windy day, sometimes it just helps keep everything low, and it's an excuse to have some fun with a very fun club. So now I'll talk a little bit about my irons. Just as a quick note on yardage, my 4 iron is probably about 205 carry, and my pitching wedge is probably about a 132, 135 carry. So you guys can kind of do the math. They're roughly 12 yard, 13 yard gaps. And yeah, I really love these irons, the Mizuno Pro 225s. Here's the 4 iron. You can just see the back of that. It really looks like a blade, but once you put it behind the ball, you realize, okay, that club's got a little bit more heft to it than a bladed counterpart to this club would have. 4, 5, and 6 iron do have a pretty hefty top line, so they really do look like what would be considered a player's distance iron, but the offset is minimal. For me, it's kind of hard. The chunkiness of the top line does look a little cheesy to me, but I don't get to pick and choose. I'm not that good at ball striking, so that's where we've landed. Now, the lower lofted clubs, or rather the higher lofted clubs, these clubs look great behind the ball. So the 9 iron, for example, it's probably a bit hard to tell, but that does have a really pretty minimal top line, and then same with the pitching wedge. These clubs really do look pretty precise behind the ball, but because the blade length is high, or long I should say, you still aren't too intimidated by the shot. I'm using that Kirkland golf ball, so I'm a diehard with that thing. And yeah, oh, I forgot to mention the shafts on these are the Project X IO 6.0 flex, and they're 110 grams. So I like a lighter shaft in the irons because I like lighter total weight. However, I do think that the swing weight of these particular irons at 110 grams with however this shaft is kind of balanced out, they feel a little bit heavy. So I think putting 115, maybe 120 gram shaft in these at some point would help distribute some of that weight ratio more evenly throughout the club, allow me to feel a little bit quicker and more consistent in the swing. All of my irons have the Golf Pride multi-compound +4 aligns. They feel great. I like the multi-compound. The +4 is nice. I wear a 2XL glove, so we're with +4 and it's working pretty well. Again, 4 through pitching wedge. And then as far as what I would consider to be specialty wedges go, so my gap wedge and my lob wedge, I'm using the Cleveland RTX zip core wedges in the black satin finish. I've had these since I started playing seriously as well, so these have been in the bag for a while. You can see there's a lot of good wear and tear on that black finish on the bottom. Yeah, so you can tell I only use 2 wedges. It's because I have a lot going on in the top of my bag, but I prefer that. I enjoy having choices off of the tee. I enjoy being intentional with my ball flight from the tee to try and set myself up in a pretty good position. I haven't mentioned it yet. Right now I'm like a 10 or an 11 handicap, so I'm really not that great yet in those low digits, but I'm kind of moving in that direction, and I just play casually. So for that level of play, I like being able to shape the ball, have some options off the tee, but also I'm forced to be creative with my short game because I only have 2 wedges. So 52 degree, 56 degree, they both have 10 degrees of bounce, and it's the midsole, so not a whole lot of relief happening. I have forced myself to open the face primarily on this 56 degree, and there is just enough relief, I think, in the sole grind on this club to where I'm not thinning every shot, but I think my next wedge will be a little bit more specifically designed for opening the face, so I've been looking at a couple of contenders for that. Overall, these wedges feel great. My gapping sucks with pitching wedge to 52 degree. P wedge is 132. My gap wedge is probably 102 or 105 or something like that. I need to do better at keeping that ball flight a little bit lower. If I do that, maybe I'll squeeze some more yards out of these, but until then, we just have to work on those half shots with the pitching wedge, which is perfectly fine. I've stuck a couple of those pretty close in my life. So Dynamic Gold Spinner Wedge Flex, I think these are 115 grams, so kind of middle of the road wedge shaft in those guys. So yeah, forced to be creative, but ultimately I don't feel limited by having 2 wedges. So it allows me to carry 2 fairway woods, which again is fun in this day and age. As far as the putter goes, I'm using the Ping Answer 4. This is the 2021 model, so it's got the red and white accents on the black finish. It's a black shaft, and the grip is a, what is it? Super Stroke. Yeah, I almost said Golf Bride. No, this is a Super Stroke Pistol GT 2.0. It is a nice grip. I putt traditionally, but this particular putter has a ton of toe hang on it, and my stroke is not that arced. So I've been fighting with this putter a little bit, but I've been committed to use it for probably at least a couple years. I don't want to be too schizophrenic with my putter selection and never learn the putter. So that's where we are with the clubs. That's every club in the bag. Again, I don't need to go through every iron, but let's quickly talk about the bag and what's in the bag. So this is a Ping Hoofer Light stand bag. It's got the Ping Man pattern on it. Amazon rangefinder, probably about 150 bucks if I remember correctly. It gets the job done. I carry 2 alignment rods, which are always good to have for the range. Other training aids that I have, I got a putting mirror, so you know, I'll do some gate drills or warm up, make sure my putting's all lined up with this. Every once in a while, don't do it before every round, but maybe once a month, I'll remind myself to practice putting. And if I can reach it, which I can, I have this also. This is a training aid by Callaway. You basically put your arms through these openings and slide this all the way up to your biceps. It takes your arms out of it, keeps you nice and connected. So if I'm ever feeling disconnected or like I have too much separation and can't swing consistently, I'll throw that on the driving range, hit a couple of shots. And yeah, so the ball I'm using, Kirkland, man. Why would you use a different one, in my opinion? No, I totally get using different ones, but for the most part, I'm using a Kirkland. For the money and for the amount that you get, these balls, they're great. They have good spin numbers and they feel great. So Kirkland golf ball, my glove, Titleist Permasoft glove. Other than that, I carry some sunscreen. I carry a brush for my clubs to clean them and a wedge sharpening tool. I got a big towel here. It's like a 4-foot towel. And yeah, so the bag's important. Great padded shoulder straps on there, but that's basically everything in my golf bag, you guys. I hope you enjoyed a quick little rundown with some yardages here and there. So I'm just excited to kind of have this channel to be a place where somewhat consistently I can post some golf content. So subscribe, share with your friends, whatever you want to do. This is mostly just sort of that creative outlet, so I hope you guys can come along. But yeah, so this was fun to make. Now I got to put everything back in the bag, but I'll get out there soon, get some golf content and start posting. So welcome, you guys. Glad I could be starting this all here. And yeah, so hopefully I'll see you in a year for another What's in the Bag, and hopefully I have all new clubs because I love new golf clubs. But yeah, we'll see you guys soon.